Okay, we are recording. Good morning. Good morning, all you happy Oilers. Are we excited? We have two people with us this morning. We have Deb Weyland and we have Kelly Harrah. Kelly, you're from
Georgia.
Georgia, and
Hmm.
she's going to help us out today, along with my wonderful friend Deb, who always comes up with great stuff we have to say. And our first slide today, even though we're talking about Roman chamomile Melissa, you can put it on your list. You can ask for it. For your holiday, ask for what you want. If you don't ask for it, no one's going to know you want it, okay? Roman chamomile and Melissa. Consistent and recovered.
Woohoo.
Okay. Psychologists say once you learn how to be happy, you won't tolerate being around people who make you feel anything less. This is part of why I love oils. And I know, Deb, it has worked for you when you've had to be with difficult people. And Kelly,
Absolutely.
you told me you were able to be much more happy with yourself in group meetings when you
Yeah,
used oils to stay calm. Is that right?
absolutely. Absolutely. I don't go anywhere without my Melissa now.
All right. And Deb?
Oh, yes. It's enabled me to be with people that I care about, but just don't always make me feel the happiest that I want to be. So by putting on the oils, and sometimes even diffusing them in the environment that I'm in with them, it really helps me feel good about me and get through what could be a more stressful situation.
Okay, let's talk about Roman chamomile. Here we go. We're plunging right in. The Roman chamomile that doTERRA is able to get for us is quite extraordinary. Every oil that doTERRA wants from a plant, it has very specific requirements. The science, led by our famous Dr. Hill and his 19 specialists from all over the world,
Mm-hmm.
they're very particular about what characteristics they want in an oil for an overall full bag to contribute to healthy lifestyle.
Mm.
Roman chamomile, Deb, have you used it?
Oh, yes, I have. That was my saving grace. I had been suffering, as you know, from allergy-induced asthma and was having to take all that horrible medication that goes along with that, the steroids and everything, so I could breathe. And I have to tell you, Roman chamomile was my saving grace. The use of that enabled me to clear up my system, my immune system, my breathing improved, and I'm very grateful I'm no longer on any of those medications, nor do I suffer
Right.
as
Well, you
badly.
also told me that you increased your water, you will limit
Of course.
certain food groups from your diet. I mean, yes,
Yes,
Roman chamomile was definitely a contributing factor, but I
it
like to
was.
tell people that's a full program, not just like taking a
Oh,
pill.
no. No, absolutely. Sue had introduced me to Roman chamomile, and that, along with, of course, our vitamins and no white anything, and of course the water increase is probably one of the most important things, because as you're eliminating all the bad things in your body, you want to actually flush them out, and drinking the water enables you to do them. Yes, it is a whole package.
Right, because I think that's really important. Kelly, have you had any experience with Roman chamomile?
Actually, I used Roman chamomile last night on my daughter because she had a toothache.
Ah,
And so I used it last night on her, and then she got up at 1 o'clock and said she couldn't sleep. So I used it again on her, and she slept until 6:30, almost 7 today, while we were trying to get her up and get her going for school. She was very restful.
so it worked
So,
out.
yes, it did. Very much so.
Okay. I want you to, when you look at the field of dandelions, you can either see 100 weeds or 100 wishes. Depends on your perspective. That's why I like Roman chamomile. I use it with lots of people who have had shocks, unpleasant surprises, blows to their plans in life, major disappointments, because Roman chamomile, for me in my therapeutic work, has always helped people summon courage to cope. I didn't say it took away their pain. I said that it gave them a clarity inside about coping. And part of that is summoning courage. And you guys all know the stories from years ago when I used to talk about the Romans and the chamomile oil tubs and how they all loved to soak in the chamomile before they went off to conquer the world. And they all had like little chamois. They were like leather cloths that were tightly beat up. They used to soak the cloths in the chamomile and then put it inside of another pouch. And when they were getting ready to attack a city, they would all be standing there inhaling the fragrance of the Roman chamomile to celebrate the Roman culture and their greatness. They swore the Roman chamomile gave them extraordinary courage to do things they never thought possible before. And if you examine the history on Roman chamomile, it's been around a really long time, and its benefits are quite extraordinary. It brings about a sense of calm and peacefulness, which can often be closely related to a person's ability to lean into trust, promote serenity in all areas of life, and even release any need to create drama. I couldn't resist, had to put that in. I know a few peeps who could use a little of that. Let's resist the drama. What do you think?
Especially during this holiday season, as we discussed, it certainly is a time where drama kind of evolves. So isn't it wonderful that we're able to purchase this again at this time?
Yes. Yes.
I can stop hoarding it.
Yes.
I know. But it's such a widespread oil. It does so many things. And some of us, I know I'm guilty of it, we use an oil for a specific purpose, but if you really learn about what Roman chamomile can do, it's truly, truly amazing. From helping with your small capillaries, a lot of women start to get those little red capillaries on their face, and I found that if I rub that on right there, it actually makes them sort of go away. So, I mean, who would think of Roman chamomile for using it as a facial, item? But it really is so widespread. It has, aside from all the emotional things and everything, it's just amazing.
Right. It's a vasoconstrictor. It causes
Right.
the small blood vessels to shrink, which can be very helpful.
Well, especially when the cold comes, that seems to happen more. It
Yes.
brings that out. So, yeah.
Okay. And remember, self-care is not selfish. You cannot serve from an empty vessel. So if you're stressed and you need to rest when you're sleeping, please use the Roman chamomile. We're going to give you a whole list of things to combine it with in just a minute. These are some of the properties, and I worked really hard to make this as compliant as possible. Antispasmodic, that's really good. We've used this with infants whose little tummies get into trouble. We use it for skin conditions. Again, we dilute it. Whenever you're putting oils on the face, please, please, please dilute it. Except in a really special case with Melissa, we'll tell you about in a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This talks about my friends, the Roman soldiers, who used it when they went out conquering the world. No matter how deep the issue is, no matter how long you have struggled with it, the possibility exists for you to become absolutely free, whole, and healed.
Amen to that.
So, you have an amazing bag. You have an amazing body. Your body is a miracle. Your mind, your heart, all those things are all connected. So if your mind is thinking bad thoughts, then your body will have bad things. If you are thinking gratitude thoughts and happy thoughts, it's a whole different story. So let's talk about combining Roman chamomile with each of these and on the right, please write in your questions. Does everybody understand what a compress is? Does everybody know what diluted means?
Mm-hmm.
How to make teas. You know about dipping the toothpick right inside the bottle of oil? And you don't
Mm-hmm.
put it right in the boiling water, right? What do? You boil the
After it's
water and you let it set down. You let it,
let it set. Yeah.
right. And
And then you,
then you can add the oils to it.
right. And you're really just stirring it in with the toothpick. You're not pouring it in directly.
Right. Oh my goodness. No, it would be far too
Strong.
influential.
Yes.
Okay.
I just love the list of oils that you have here and their uses. Um, Again, I do mix it with a lot of these. I love it with lavender. I use it with frankincense. I do diffuse and inhale those, and so that is exactly what you have them used. I didn't know about the compress, though, with the Lang Lang.
Well, no, see, the uses are just a list of uses. The oils
Oh, okay, they're
are
not
just
going
a list
across.
of
I'm
oils.
sorry.
Right.
Oh,
They're not
okay.
across from each other. It just worked out that way.
Oh, okay.
Okay. You can take any oils and mix them with Epsom salts, Himalayan salt, and warm water and create, warm, moist compresses for different parts of the body using different oils. For compresses, I usually like to use things like marjoram with chamomile, or melaleuca with chamomile, or sandalwood with chamomile. The reason is that these work really well together. Remember, always put the oils into the Epsom salts first, then add
Mm-hmm.
the warm water, and we use unbleached cotton to make the compresses, and then we put a big heavy towel over the top that's dry. Sometimes I take it out of the dryer even, so it's warm,
Mm-hmm.
so that
Mm-hmm.
the moisture is motivated with the oils to penetrate the ailing body and support its feeling better.
Right. And the key word there is warm. I know someone they tried to do that with like one of those hot things that you nuke in the microwave. You're not talking that. You're literally just talking a little bit of warmth.
Oh, yeah. Oh, please. Yes, 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 yes. Is a compress wet? Yes. Whenever we're working with oils, please, please, please. It's warm, not necessarily hot. And it's really important. Whoops. Sorry.
Alert from go to meeting. Please send me that to 6.0.
Okay.
For end webinar.
Yes. Okay. We'll take care of it. Thank you. Anyway, that just means I pressed the wrong button and they were letting me know. The deal is that whenever we want to motivate oils to enter a system, it's much more beneficial if you have moisture involved. Even with those like sandbag things that go around people's necks, and you can put them on thighs, then people put oils in them and they heat them up in the microwave or the oven, of course. And I always say, please sprinkle it. Remember the old days of sprinkling clothes? We
Yes.
want the moisture, because if you hurry oils with heat and it's dry, it will rise into whatever the heat based apparatus is, as opposed to moist encourages the skin to absorb.
Mm-hmm.
Does that help?
No, that was a really good explanation. Great.
That was awesome.
Okay. I prefer everyone dilute Roman chamomile, only because you need to get used to it. Everyone's body's unique. Okay. And you could be like my daughter, who got addicted to Roman chamomile straight. When I tried to explain to her that we don't always have Roman chamomile and you must use it sparingly, that just meant she didn't tell me when she took the bottles. I thought that was pretty crafty.
Very crafty.
Yes. Okay. Roman chamomile with helichrysum on the low back, and you can combine it with marjoram, is extraordinary for chasing away old habits of worrying about money. That was Roman chamomile, helichrysum, and marjoram on low back.
Nice.
Roman chamomile is extraordinary with lavender and helichrysum for sunburn. Is sunburn a diagnosis? Sorry.
Well, no.
I don't count it as one.
No, it's kind of a fact.
Okay, we use like you described for gums, very gently on babies' gums when they're teething or if they have toothache problems. The reason is it's like Roman chamomile has such teeny tiny little quick moving molecules. It can contribute to positive action in what might have been an inflamed area.
Mm-hmm. And so I thought you were mentioning to me too about lavender and sandalwood along with Roman chamomile for reducing some excessive energy. Can I say it like that?
Yeah, you mean calm people down who are hyper?
Yeah. I didn't know how to quite say that, but yes. But that blend actually does work. I have a student that I work with who is using that, and it has made a significant difference in decreasing the amount of fidgetiness that has been exhibited during the school day.
Well, good. I am grateful that it worked. Remember that we have a lot of wonderful tools that do similar things in our bags. We just
Absolutely.
figure out the bestest one for our occasion or our special kids or our special husbands or wives or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And the placement has to do with individual preferences too. I mean, Roman chamomile is great for skin.
Well, think of it this way, wherever you're rubbing it, you're getting a double use out of it, right? It's doing
Yes.
double duty. It's as you rub it on your feet or you rub it on your arms or the back of your head, your skin's enjoying the benefits of any other treatment that you might be trying to achieve. It's wonderful.
Yes. And if you have a situation where you have eustachian tubes which are blocked or perhaps inflamed in some way, and those usually are below your ears, kind of a thing, it's
Mm-hmm.
wonderful to combine Roman chamomile, basil, and ylang ylang and apply it directly in the bones behind the ears. You know, we don't put oils in our ears, right?
Right.
Right.
Nothing inside.
Outside the ears, because the wonderful, really wonderful circulatory system that is your body will deliver the molecules in those teeny, teeny little places. You don't need your circulatory system in other parts, but in the really tight parts of your head and your ears and stuff, all those little zillions of capillaries are so excited to get the molecules of oils. They just love it. Where did you put the Roman chamomile for your daughter, Kelly?
I put it down her jaw actually, and she asked me if I could put it on her gums, and I put it on her gums too, and she said it tasted pretty good. So,
Wow. Okay.
which I was. She's a trooper. She loves her oils.
That's great. And does everybody know what an inhaler is? These little tubey things that look like they could be lip balms upside down. Those are inhalers. They come in all colors and sizes. There's a little cotton tube inside the inhaler, and you pour in 8 to 11 drops of something that you really find beneficial.
Mm-hmm.
I use combinations. I use oils at their full strength inside inhalers. The reason I love them, they can be lost in the bottom of my purse for 10 months, and it still works great.
It does. They do. They last so long.
And they're very discreet.
Yes.
Well, the best I love sometimes when I'm sitting at a light, I'll break out one of my inhalers and just start, sniffing, and the people next to me are kind of looking at me. So it gives people a lot to think about when you use them too.
Okay, now please bear with me for just a second. We're going to do virus review just for kicks. A virus is different from bacteria. Bacteria can pretty much grow in the air. A virus needs a specific host. It's an organized, unpleasant, unfriendly that somehow enters your body. But the only way it can get inside of a cell is if a cell is open to the bad things that the virus talks it into. So, if you have a daily affirmation of, my life is full of wonder and joy, and I am truly grateful for all I have, and you say that over and over again, it's not likely you're going to be able to bring any viruses to live in unpleasant places inside of you. So, I want you to keep that in mind when we move on to Melissa.
Yay, Melissa.
Now, for those of you who are now around in 2011, when Melissa was initially shared with all our doTERRA people, some of us, in a very crafty way, copied down everything the person who introduced it said to us. And we're not allowed to quote any of these people, so we're not. And you can all claim you don't know where you came across this information. It was an old piece of paper laying around the back of your file. But it's so important, just as it is, I have to share it with you. An excellent blend for use as an effective antidepressant is Melissa, wild orange, and peppermint. Not only is it excellent for depression, but it balances emotions and anxiety. Now, when we're talking about balancing emotions and anxiety, you've heard me use the phrase, gives you the equipment to cope. It gives you the strength to sort the painful fog, to sort away the steam that's blowing in your ear, so you can choose to move away, move in, go to bed, make a clear decision as opposed to operating in the fog. Melissa is extraordinary for that. It's a very powerful antiviral essential oils. They penetrate the cells in our body, and Melissa, 60% phenylpropanoid, an organic compound associated with the structural components of the body's cellular walls. So, Melissa reinforces, I'm translating for you, reinforces the insulation of your cellular life. When you use Melissa in combination with other oils, the molecules encourage each other to create a broader, healthy environment inside your human body. Melissa, with its antiviral property, can inactivate a virus before it enters a cell and protect the integrity of the healthy cell structure. This is important since a virus needs a host before it can multiply and do its damage in the body. This makes Melissa very effective against the herpes virus that over 92% of us have in our systems. Whether we ever have an expression, an episode, a boo-boo, a wound inside our mouth or on our lips, the herpes simplex is so common, people have kind of accepted it as part of their life.
Right. Sue, though, as you were explaining that, and you did a great job, I think that maybe some of our listeners might need the reminder about why it's so important that we keep ourselves healthy. You explained once to me about how if the virus penetrates it, then when it duplicates itself, it's actually multiplying the virus cells, not good cells, right?
Yes. Yes.
So if we can stop it before it enters our cells, when our cells regenerate themselves, we're going to continue to regenerate a healthy cell.
Right on.
Right.
One lady reported the sound keeps fading. Am I fading on you? Do you hear me, Deb?
I hear you fine.
Kelly?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
Okay. The doctor points out that preschoolers are one of the fastest growing markets for prescription antidepressant drugs. Our suggestion is to diffuse Melissa and frankincense together for youthful depression. Blend Melissa and patchouli in a capsule to be taken internally for cognitive diseases. That means something that has been diagnosed. And of course, you would always check with your physician to say, you don't mind if we use some therapeutic grade essential oils to support the recovery of this, do you? And the doctor will say, oh, hey, if it's safe to ingest, it should be all right. But you check with your physician.
Mm-hmm.
The person who shared Melissa with us notes 5 health concerns that benefit from the calming properties of Melissa. These are depression, anger, Alzheimer's, dementia, and cognitive impairments.
Wow.
When you look at that list, what do they have in common?
They all are somehow connected with our brain.
Right, and oxygen to the brain and
Mm-hmm.
thorough oxygenation of cells. Because when we're depressed, angry, God bless the brain of the Alzheimer person, or dementia or cognitive impairment, everything is always enhanced by consistent oxygenation.
Mm-hmm.
The key here is if you're going to use Melissa, let's use it consistently. And this
Okay.
particular person suggested we use the essential oil at night, also applying topically with Melissa and frankincense for depression.
Now, since these 5 conditions are really some of the major ones out there right now, when we diffuse that, are we diffusing it diluted or straight? What do you think he was the
At the
suggestion?
time, the intention was to add it to, the 11 drops to the Lotus diffuser because that was all we had.
Right.
So from that, I would assume, that
Okay.
we would like to diffuse it. How did you diffuse it last night, Kelly?
I just put a couple of drops in a pedal diffuser.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Did it stay in the room? Did it come out of the room? Were you aware of it?
Well, we went to bed with it in the diffuser, so we all slept marvelously.
Good.
And when my husband did come to bed, he really enjoyed the smell.
Good.
He loves Melissa, loves the smell of Melissa. But I'm thinking that for my daughter's needs, we will probably use more in a diffuser in her room.
Okay. And the idea being here is for a restful night's sleep. So when people wake up, they wake up full of energy and ready to be part of the day, right?
Right.
Exactly. Our brain, if we have increased that oxygen through the night, our brain is ready to get up and going in the morning. How amazing. What a gift.
It is. Okay. So I'm sure you've all had time now to write down what's down here at the bottom because we're not giving you a protocol. This was just part of the report that I kind of moved into the PowerPoint. Don't even know exactly how I got it into the PowerPoint when you take it out of a report. It just kind of went, poop, there it was. Sorry, but I think it's important.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Very true.
When it says undiluted, how do you think that works? You're not going to touch a part of your body that's hurting and weeping with virus, are you?
No, you're going to go around it.
Somebody just said that. I went, no, you're going to use like a little pipette. Or you're going to use, I take half of the cotton off of an unbleached cotton Q-tip and I dip it into the oil.
Mm-hmm.
That way you can use the Q-tip and get rid of it. Use the Q-tip and get rid of it. Get it?
Got it.
Right.
Any other suggestions?
Well, I know that you've also always said just to put it around the area as well.
Yes.
So if we didn't have those things readily available, we can certainly put it around the area. What about making a little compress on unbleached cotton and just resting it there? Do you think we could do that as well?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
I was just wondering, like for the topical applications, if you put some of our undiluted Melissa on a piece of unbleached cotton and just like leave it there like a little compress, can we do that as well?
Yes. I wouldn't do it for very long, though.
Okay.
Just get the oil on there and move away.
Okay.
We'd like it to breathe.
All right.
Okay. Why is Melissa and depression such a great combination? Because then you're capable of forgiveness. Forgiveness means you're in motion. It doesn't mean you stop being mad. It doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt you anymore. It's just that you're not allowing the overwhelming energy to run your life. That's why it's so important. Melissa is a gift to people who've been chronically depressed. Melissa is a gift to people who have cycles of depression. I am not talking about clinically depressed by a psychiatrist. That's a whole different, they have medication, they see their physicians regularly. People ask about medication, what do we say?
You never stop your medication without physician's approval.
Right, and if you're going to change your medication, you go discuss it with your physician, because I can't write scripts for medicine, so how can I even talk about it? Okay, we're not going to talk about it, okay?
Absolutely.
But we have talked about the need for forgiveness and how when we hold that in, it does impact so many other areas of our life, and so it is so important that we work on forgiving others and finding that peace within ourselves.
Yes. Let's talk some more about Melissa.
Yay, Melissa.
It acts as a mild tranquilizer without dangerous and addictive side effects. Melissa has an amazing ability to relieve depression, particularly in those who are emotionally sensitive, like empaths, and do not respond well to pressure. Melissa supports people who are easily traumatized by confrontation. Some people will drive 80 miles to avoid a confrontation. Some people think speaking up for themselves, there's something wrong with it. So rather than file a complaint or say, gee, did you know it really disturbs me when, they won't ever say those things, but Melissa helps you find your voice.
That's amazing.
Necessary.
Right, it is very necessary. I'm one of those that doesn't like confrontation, and the use of Melissa definitely helps me deal with that, because you can't allow it to build up inside. You have to express your feelings or learn to accept them and move on. So this is truly a way to help ourselves do this.
Right. It can replace intensity with serenity and distrust with innocence. Melissa is among the most effective oils for anxious depression and a feeling of foreboding. Effective in easing grief and soothing sadness. Helps people to return to a sense of balance. Again, when you use it consistently, and just a teeny bit goes a long way, you unravel the barnacles or the weights or that foil that was between you and the rest of the world that was feeling bad all the time.
So it's going to give us a sense of well-being and calming when we use this. We're going to feel a little bit happier within ourselves by using this.
This is possible. This is possible. And if you think about what we talked about with virus, if you have been diagnosed with a virus, even some of the viruses that only have initials or numbers,
Yes.
and you're willing to change your lifestyle by stopping feeding the virus, because what feeds viruses?
Oh, you mean all that white stuff like sugar,
And
white flour, and the things that people like to freeze in their freezer and have at dinner time, those liquid shots and celebratory drinks.
alcohol.
Alcohol, yes.
That all feeds viruses of every kind. The other way that you have a virus is bad attitude and self-hate. Self-loathing and self-hate can foster viruses coming to live inside of you. One of the reasons why we encourage people to stay in motion, to drink water, to use oils, to lift their chronic state of being unhappy with themselves. We have a ritual we're going to tell you about in just a minute, and it has to do with unwrapping and discarding the cloak of discontentment, because it's so important that you keep moving.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you and I have talked about the need to be sugar-free and white flour-free and alcohol-free and all that for a couple of years now. But so many other people are getting, and nutritionists, they're all jumping on that bandwagon now. And so you were ahead of your time, Sue. I have to say that.
Yes, I've been unpopular for a long time.
That's okay. But think about all the positive feedback that we've got when people did that, with us, when we did it our every quarter. The relief from pain, the relief of those sad feelings, just their wanting to get out and do more and be a more active participant in daily life. And so we have had so many stories of people meeting with so much success by doing this. So, and then to add Melissa on top of it, amazing.
It is, because but again, we ask you to do whatever you're going to do consistently. Like Kelly, you started diffusing and you had very positive results. So do you think it's something that you would be willing to commit to for 18 nights in a row?
Absolutely. I put my bottle right next to my diffuser to make sure it goes in there.
Yeah, the reason we want to do it consistently for 18 days in a row is when you give your cells new information consistently for 18 days in a row, they tend to take it on as, you really like this better. Okay, we're going to hang on to this.
Oh, awesome. Good to know.
Well, it's really important that you do things for 18 days in a row, and 18 times when you're going to say something good to yourself, do it consistently. You don't say, I'm feeding my body healthy things. I'm feeding my body healthy things. I'm thriving in my new thin body, and then go buy ice cream. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm open. You have to think in these big terms. I'm open to receiving infinite streams of abundance with ease. This allows me to give back even more to the world.
Yay.
Look at this, doTERRA University, da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. If you go in your back office, you can find these things.
Yay.
We're talking about why Melissa smells like lemon. I was just going to tell you the simple thing. It's part of the lemongrass family. That's why it smells like lemon. Okay? But here it is. Here's your chemical helix for all you scientists out there. I knew you'd love this. Okay. And for those scientists who want to know where the research came from, because when people call me and say, I just read this online, blah, 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 what's the first thing I say? Was the source medically based?
That's right.
Was it a for real published paper or someone's opinion? You want to see for sure, when you're reacting to some information people give you, that the information came from a reliable source. Okay. Now, you see the word thumb up here?
Yes.
Roof of the mouth. Under the tongue. These are all very important points for Melissa to do with rapid relief.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And you could do that all in one movement.
Yes. You can put Melissa on the end of your thumb, right on the little fatty part of your thumb. Reach into your mouth and press up on the roof of your mouth. And think happy thoughts for like 5 seconds. And then roll it over and put the Melissa on your tongue. And when you withdraw your thumb, you draw in breath very gently over the tongue and across the roof of the mouth. And you're drawing the warmed molecules of Melissa into your entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Now we push it up on the roof of our mouth, and I ask people to focus on stepping backwards, to step out of the coat of discontentment, lift their head, and see the joy around them. And when people take 5 steps back, they are amazed at how instantly the world looks different to them.
Mm-hmm. So many people, when you've done that with them, Sue, they also mention like this weight was lifted off of them as they did it. There's like, the weight that you feel like your shoulders pushing down. They just felt they were lighter
Yes.
after that experience.
Yes, and when you're drawing the air over your tongue, it's going to be very warm. And
Mm-hmm.
just wait 22 seconds before you drink water. Allow Melissa to penetrate the roof of your mouth. Allow Melissa to be part of your whole system, undisturbed with water or coffee or orange juice or whatever you thought you could cool your mouth off with. It's going to cool down 22 seconds anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
For things, a mental virus of bad attitude, we use the bottom of the big toe. That's exactly what we do. We put it right on the bottom of the big toe and we say to the people, you're going to have a better attitude when you wake up tomorrow, and I want you to expect to have a good day. And it's amazing what happens. By the time they put their shoes back on and they go home, they don't even remember we talked about it, but they
Mm-hmm.
will tell you the next day they feel much better.
That is truly a gift. And it's such a simple thing. And we don't realize the importance of just doing that one little action. One little drop of Melissa on each toe, and we're going to suddenly feel better. So great.
Right, but then you have to give it direction. You have to give your cells direction of higher vibration,
Right,
kindness
how you
to
want to feel.
yourself, less criticism. It's an
Mm-hmm.
extraordinary effective tool if you use it consistently and you consistently insist you are recovering. Even if you have a cold sore on your lip, when you apply it with a Q-tip, you insist those cells get themselves back together, escort the virus out of your body, and recover by consistent application.
Do you remember what you used to tell my dad to do? To yell
Yes.
at his body part that we were trying to fix, and he would, and it worked. But the first time he told me that you told him to do that, I was like, she told you to what? But it worked, and it released a lot of anger that he had inside because he was upset that this wound wouldn't heal. But by yelling at his body part, he got it out, and it did increase the healing, and we did accomplish what the doctors couldn't do. So it really does work to do that.
Yeah, we use it for fistulas. We use it for open wounds, abscesses, what we call long rub wounds. Again, you can use it with geranium, use it with sandalwood, use it with the lotions that doTERRA has. Use the Melissa so it can help recover a wound. You'll notice on here we have the ingredients for the Spritzer, for God bless the people who get the chickenpox expression along their skin. I wouldn't really want to use a diagnostic word there. It begins with S and it giggles at the end. You don't know what that is, right?
I think they might. They might.
Okay. You're going to use geranium, melissa, clary sage, and frankincense. And you're going to put that little spritzer. And you don't have to dilute it very much, just a little bit. And so after the person would shower with this funny expression on their body, pat dry with unbleached cotton very gently and spritz above the area. Let the gentle spritz settle onto the area. And it's going to take care of not only the virus that's being expressed, but the secondary or what we call the tertiary pain that's often left behind because the nerve chains got a little bit arbitrated there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Perfect.
Using
That's awesome.
Melissa with myrrh and lang lang is an extraordinary gift to cheer your heart. If you've suffered from disappointment that you felt helpless to have anything to fix it with, it can mark your lower chambers of your heart with sad cells. And myrrh and geranium make a big difference. Mix it with the melissa, put the pain in its proper place, and get on with new creative projects. When you're using melissa for relief, it's really important you have a go-to. I don't care if it's knitting. I don't care if it's crossword puzzles. What is the big fad now? Coloring.
Coloring.
It's really important you be busy with your hands because Melissa is going to take care of your heart and your spirit and those little virus agent thingers. But if you get busy with your hands and you allow creativity to flow, your forward progress in loving yourself grows by leaps and bounds.
Right. If you're moving forward in a positive manner every day, physically moving, and like you said, creatively moving and being involved in things, it will improve your whole outlook.
Yes, and we were talking the other day, I think, Kelly, I think you heard us talk about it, the bones behind the ears, why it's so important when you want to make changes that we apply oils to the bones behind the ears.
Mm-hmm.
It's because we want to cancel the replays inside our head of the yesterdays that were not effective, the yesterdays that you've criticized yourself for. And Melissa is one of the groups that we ask people to work with when you're combining Melissa with other oils, is to stop shoulding on yourself. That's SHOULDING. Stop shoulding on yourself. It's really important.
Absolutely. Holding that intention.
Yes. Are there any other oils on here that you like for whatever reasons? Because I have lots more remedies we can talk about.
I happen to love, I love wild orange for uplifting. I love lavender for soothing. Myrrh in itself, for me, is just the earthiness of myrrh. To me, it's just very grounding. So I do mix Melissa with those on a fairly regular basis. And of course, I love all my citrus, so bergamot and frankincense. Are also those that I use as much. I've never thought to combine it with eucalyptus, but I could understand the value of that as well. So, but I just love Melissa with anything is just absolutely amazing. And you know that you taught me the thumb trick, and I do use that. I've hoarded Melissa like you have, so I still have that, and it really is such an amazing experience every time I do that.
Yeah, we're all looking forward to being able to order our Melissa and our Roman chamomile.
Absolutely.
Do any questions occur to either one of you on these that we've been working with?
Not a question per se, but if you mentioned suppositories, and are we combining, Melissa, with any of those things also when we make the suppository? And if so, how would we use that?
It's 20 drops per tablespoon of the pure therapeutic grade coconut oil that is solid at room temperature.
Okay. And then how many times a day would we use that?
A suppository?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends if you're working on a chest or a colon, or it depends on the area. And
Okay.
depression, we only use one at night.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Kelly?
That's awesome information. I had no idea.
Yes. If if you have a body surface, we know how to oil it.
That's true, you do.
Loving yourself fully and deeply allows you to love others fully and deeply. Again, we'll remind you, you have to take care of yourself so your whole life thrives. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you are capable of amazing things. Whatever you can imagine when you're applying your oils, you're diffusing your oils, it's really important that you remember things can be better, vibration can be higher, the air can be clearer, everything can always be nicer for you if you allow it.
Here's our little love glasses again. I love it.
I know. When you see the ones we're taking to Vegas with us, you're going to love them. Can't see the haters when I got my love glasses on. Ha ha.
But you know me, the teacher, and me, just having that visual. I mean, even if you don't actually put them on, but if you have a pair and you keep them around your house,
yeah,
it's going to remind you to love yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just going to give you a little chuckle and a laugh or a ho, 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 you know, already puts us in a better mood. So wearing those love glasses is definitely going to be a positive thing. I can't wait.
Yes. You will enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Now.
I want to see pictures.
Yeah, I know, right?
We love sharing with you guys for educational purposes only. We don't sell these webinars. We don't sell this information. But we do have educational sessions, and we travel to different cities. But in the last year, we have found out that Facebook is not very good about letting you circulate invitations anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we're reminding our fans and our friends to please keep checking your favorite Facebook pages, because that's where you're going to get a clue about what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you have to space down. You have to look through several slides to see, because we don't necessarily post every day, hey, we're going to go to Las Vegas next week.
Right.
Okay. So the information is there. We're still working on getting a website page. It's just things are not as simple as they used to be. And
no, Facebook's become a little bit complicated.
Right. So we're just reminding everybody, and it could be the reason you think like some of the things that you used to read about all the time aren't there anymore. Well, no, they're there. They're just maybe not products that Facebook sells.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have things under Personal Peaceful Growth Calendar. We have things under Hugfest 1, Susan Lawton. People asked me, do you do custom affirmations? I sure do. You just got to ask me. And we work out a deal. It all works out. Any questions or comments, Kelly?
We love your custom affirmations. We've gotten those a couple of times, and they have always just changed our lives.
Oh, good, good, good. I'm glad you liked it.
Absolutely.
And
Can't
I think
say enough about it.
Yep, the affirmations offered in the card packs or on the calendar have definitely helped so many of my friends move forward with being more positive in their life, because they don't have to think about it. It's done for them. And, the funny thing is when you pick one, it somehow matches what you just needed to hear at that moment. So, yeah, doing the positive affirmations along with the oil use was definitely make everything more beneficial. And you just seem to know what to say, Sue. You're very good at putting those together for us. So thank you.
Well, guys, we all help each other out, and that's the name of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd like to thank everyone for joining us. Please understand we crossed the line several times on what would be considered compliance. So this will be a hidden webinar. And we love you guys. We want you to use these amazing oils carefully. It takes a tiny bit. Remember, I even figured out how to make red letters. You saw that at the bottom of the pages, right?
Yes,
Isn't that cool?
you did.
Hey, I learned another phase here.
Yes, you did.
Please, guys, a little teeny bit goes a long way. Please use whatever you're going to do consistently. And drink your water, because when you free up viruses, you want their little carcasses to be carried away, okay?
That's so true.
Okay, so kill them and then wash them out.
Good.
What do you think, Miss Kelly? Will that work?
That is awesome. Yes. Need to drink the water.
Drink the water. Thank you for joining us from sunny Atlanta. Deb and I appreciated the sunshine because here in New Jersey, we are sodden.
You are. And
you're welcome. Thank you.
Kelly, it was great talking to you again. Thank you. And everyone, all of our listeners, thank you so much for joining us today. And we hope that you relearn something that you may have forgotten, because I know every time we do them, I learn new things again. So thank you so much and have an amazing day.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
It won't let me disconnect. That's too funny. Oh, no. Are we going to do this one again, too? It really won't let me disconnect. That's too funny. Okay, let's see. What can we do? All right. Okay, well, that killed it. How about that? Okay, and